Welcome to this edition of SpOT. Today we will talk with communication skills expert Flo Mueck. From consultant geek to persuasive coach, empowering people to deliver authentic messages, we will realize how not much has changed since Aristotle was writing on sand. So Flo went from a geek in consulting to charismatic communication skill masters, helping people develop speeches, deliver authentic messages, raw, unapologetic. Jim Carrey of communication. Welcome to SpOT. We're going to talk about your path.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So Flo, from freelance, did you ever doubt yourself, your path? And when did you really feel that you had that energy to believe in yourself and that others could have that credibility?
Yeah, so it's always not easy when you turn freelance. My journey, there's always a one signature story, signature stories that we always have in our pockets. Normally I have here €1.27 in my left pocket because that's the money I had left in Berlin in 2009. It was a sunny day like here in Barcelona today. And I ended up with my friend Sam, so Knight.
Okay.
Who couldn't walk anymore at the yellow ticket machine. The yellow ticket machine says €2.10 back then. And I grab into my pocket and it's €1.27. And that was the moment when I had left KPMG, my safe harbor of business consulting. Thank you for the geek. And I had done my European dream. I'm an Erasmus ex-student in Barcelona. So I wanted to create an Erasmus for everyone, even for Kati behind the camera. And I ended up 6 months out of KPMG in 2009, world crisis, with €1.27, and my dream had exploded. And I had to act. So the first thing I always learned about becoming a freelancer is most of the times I think in the CV there's like, and the shit hit the fan and I had to act. I had 4 years of Toastmasters. Okay. You're very much aware of Toastmasters.org, our public speaking club. And the only thing with the back of the wall, this empty beer bottle smelling subway station in Berlin with €1.27 and my friend Sam next to me, I had to turn my passion into profession. This is when I turned public speaking slowly into my profession. And today, 16 years later, at the time of the recording, we're here, 191 corporates in 18 countries later. Now everything is happy-doozy, but it was tough.
I can imagine. And becoming that persuasive coach, how many years until you actually said, I'm good at this, and people could believe you?
The first question, the second we can combine it. I think I heard something about, have I ever felt like an imposter? It's this imposter syndrome. I'm a cheat. Oh, totally. First time in Berlin, it was a vertical for startups. Okay. It's called Gründerszene. German is beautiful. And the guy said after I did a test training, it's 2009, September, my first test training in Barcelona, July 2009, then in Berlin, same month, July, and with startup people, entrepreneurs, they have a lot of SpOT, yes. And they spot what they need, and public speaking, rhetoric, persuasion skills is something that entrepreneurs always need. Pitch for funding, convincing investors, convincing people to join a young team. You need to persuade with power. And these guys just did another test training with me. And then having a back spear, on the terrace, this young chap, Kolja Hebenstreit, 25 years old back then, super already in the startup world. And he says, Flo, we have this vertical now, Gründerszene. Let's start with a test training. You're the first. Let's start with a seminar series, and you will be the first trainer. And I'm, okay, great. And the first meeting, I will never forget, 4 people, 4 souls sign up and they pay money. I will never forget this feeling. I felt like an imposter. Yeah. This is my passion. This is my hobby, Toastmasters, public speaking. And now they pay me for that. Can I do it? Am I good enough? Will I sustain? Is that a business opportunity? What if they don't like me? Yeah. All this turmoil and tsunami of doubt and thought. But then afterwards, the four guys said, "Hey, this is awesome, Flo." And then I was trapped. I had to continue the journey. And sometimes I learned there, it's good to feel like an imposter because in Spanish we say ponerse las pilas. You know, you put the batteries.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Great. Yeah. Awesome. You're watching TV, but yet you're on your phone. Mm-hmm. That's second screening.
Yeah. Now I got it.
So I believe that like communication they dumb you down in dialogues. And if in a TV show, they repeat themselves. So you can be hearing both things at the same time and not lose what's going on the TV while you're still on your phone. And I heard that that coin of second screening the other day, and it made me think of how we're communicating. You know, if we've dumbed down our communication as well. But at the same time, you have like these millennials and everything that they just want bullet point. I have no time to lose. Give it to me straight. So it's if we're dumbing down how we speak and our structure of communications.
We both today were the essence of Aristotle. I have a post-mortem mentor. Post-mortem mentor is Aristotle, student of Plato and a teacher of Alexander the Great. Now, I'm convinced, I've been doing this since 2005, ever since I joined Toastmasters as a hobby. It's my biggest passion, communication, rhetoric, and now since 2009 professionally. And I'm more than ever convinced that nothing has changed since the Agora 2,300 years ago in Athens. The guy didn't have bullet points. The guy didn't have slides, Google Slides or PowerPoint. But for sure he had a stick and painted images in the sand. In the end, whether it's 1 minute on TikTok or 10 seconds on TikTok or 20 minutes in a too long TED Talk, it's logos, ethos, pathos. That's what's written here. It has to make sense what you say. I have to believe you. Ethics comes from ethos. It means moral habits. I have to believe you. This is why TikTok videos, if you pay attention, they right away say, I've been doing this for 5 years, do 10. First thing is credibility. This is credibility. If I don't believe you, whether it's TikTok or in a 2-hour talk, you're out. And of course, that's what they do very well in social media. They connect with your emotions, the music, the power, the emotion. As a speaker, you have other ways. Storytelling, we always talk about storytelling. Personal stuff always connects with people, whether it's in a video or here in front of 1,000 people in a room. I think nothing has changed. Now, when you go to Wikipedia, and you, that you cut, huh? That's the best scenes. Leave it in. That's the best scene. Now, when you go to rhetoric, what is rhetoric? Rhetor means the speaker in Greek. Rhetoric is the art of speaking, but in an inner sense, I always call it the scientific art of persuading people, moving them to action. I mean, no action, no persuasion, no rhetoric. Okay. And to make that happen, you need reasons, because action means change. People love to change? They hate change.
Yeah, we do.
And now Aristotle already knew we have to give them good reasons based on logic, on credibility and emotion. Now the art part becomes, for me as a speaker, even more predominant right now with all this dumbing down. Yep. Because you have no time anymore and you have to say more. For me, this is awesome, man. That's art. And this is what I like so much. To say a lot in few words or in a lot of words. But you have to get your message through. And the challenge will never end. That's why it's so exciting.
Okay, different circumstances. There's a great, Spy Game, the movie? Well, it has a lot of phrases that they say twice the sex with half the foreplay.
Very good.
That's exactly,
that I like.
That's exactly what you need.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Emotion versus logical. Is it the messenger, the carrier, the message, or the audience? What would you choose?
Well, when I prepare a new keynote speech, for example, I follow a process. And the first one is always the relationships between the speaker, me, or you in your case, your audience and your subject. And all three of them are super important. This is your credibility as a speaker, ethos, the audience, know your audience, empathy, connection with audience. Do I know them? What do they want to hear? Is it an age group? Is it Gen Z? If I talk to Gen Z about, yeah, that was a night we partied more than in Berlin, the wall came down, and the Gen Zers look at me, which wall? You know your audience. Who are they? Female, male, age group. Super important for allusions, for hints, references to famous movies. All my allusions. I don't know Spy Games, man, but they don't know my Godfather. I freak out. I'm born in 1973, man. My allusions, I have to update them for Gen Z. So know your audience, and then the subject, of course. The logic, the logos, the facts, the figures, the data, examples. Nobody gives examples. All this I analyze first thing first. All three of them are super important. If I had to choose one thing why I exist as a speaker on the phone, in Zoom, on Teams, or on a stage in front of 5,000 people, it's the audience.
Okay.
You are not there to say something. You're there to say something
To
that
someone.
they need to hear.
Okay. So the audience trumps you as a carrier, and you build the message for them.
Exactly. But it's all for the audience.
Okay. Great. Okay. You have heard thousands of speeches. Thousands. What makes a speech memorable for you?
I've heard the question several times to date. That's the question. Which ones do you remember? Same question. At the date of this filming, 16,639 speeches I evaluated in 18 countries, in 41 industries, in 3 languages, Spanish, German, English. The only things I remember are emotional. We remember emotion. We remember 3 things. We remember contrast, contradictions. We remember repetition. The Romans said, repetitio est mater studiorum. Repetition is the mother of all learning. But the most think about between 5 and 10 years, your life. Between 5 to 10. What do you remember? It's the wasp. It's always emotional. So everything I remember is emotional. And in those speeches, the second speech exercise in my training sessions is the pathos speech. And you know what pathos means originally?
The emotion.
Pain and passion. And who has to suffer? The audience. You too as a speaker, but that's it. And the topics I give them, they're really cruel. They have the whole night to prepare this speech. It's one story they have to share. It's the darkest hour of my life.
Okay.
A person I miss dearly, a moment of absolute loneliness. All these difficult, they have to pick it, and then the whole night they don't sleep, poor souls. And then they have to come the next morning, and it's always sponsored by Kleenex.
Oh.
This session is always sponsored by, like you, everybody laughs always. They
Yeah,
laugh.
that's
Yeah,
true,
yeah,
because-
tomorrow it's going to be sponsored by Kleenex. Yeah. First speaker, 7 seconds, and they go. I said, I told you. Because you cannot run away from emotion. There is this huge, have you seen Braveheart?
Yes.
Now that works, the Braveheart, but that's, yeah. And he
Freedom.
he's Scottish, as Alan is his name. Alan from Glasgow.
Glasgow.
Big beardy guy, huge guy, looks like from Braveheart, the movie. And in the middle of a training session in Berlin, he says, vulnerability causes nothing but empathy. And everybody like, wow. He nailed it. I put it in a quote on LinkedIn, man. Vulnerability causes nothing but empathy. Now, I have never seen any speech that was emotional, heartfelt, authentic, that had been on the side of constructive feedback. It's always positive feedback. More than 16,300 speeches. It's a given. Vulnerability is the big winner for me.
Okay. Threading this on, this is our huge difference versus in artificial intelligence.
Yes.
No one is ever going to substitute that emotion. Do you agree?
Are you sure? Yeah, of course. I'm with you.
I mean, no matter what machine you have, they will never be able to relate to a loss or to a miscarriage or to having, or a joy of a huge news.
Well, that's good news for you as a human communicator. I can tell you that.
And to our jobs?
Yeah, fewer people will do more work with the agents, and it's happening already. This is common knowledge. But there will be new worlds opening up in this area of human emotions and authenticity for sure.
In AI as well.
Not, well, supported by AI, but that's your value. And why do people in my training sessions, I call it Wikipedia speech. When at the moment a speaker starts with, in life we have to go through ups and downs. I fall asleep. When people when people want to explain to me how life works, I click on Wikipedia, Google, Chatty, and Copilot. I don't need you as a speaker. The only thing that's valuable in you as a communicator is you. And that is your authenticity.
Okay. Our tone and message are completely different as a parent, as a partner, as a professional. How do you maintain those three in line with your person to make sure you deliver a real message?
I'm very happy about this question because I feel it's exactly the opposite. I'm convinced that it's always the same. I asked for 3 years, when COVID hit, my business model was dead. I had told, for 10 years, I told everyone online sucks. Yeah. That helped me with my credibility, my ethos. 0, and then I had to be very fast, 25 Q&A sessions on public speaking in YouTube live. And then I was fit, and then I started already in May 2020 with online training. And I discovered, of course, the chat as my best new friend. And I do a lot of surveys, for example, on the chat. So for 3 years, I would ask hundreds of people in the chat, give me, if you have one success factor of great communication, speaking in front of people, one-to-one, what is the number one success factor? And of course, they wrote down humor. There are 9 humor patterns. You can learn humor. Humor is a technique. They put even structure, the more logical ones like Germans, or they put storytelling apparently. But the number one word, that was my X time with KPMG for sure. I copy-pasted all the results, put it in Excel, did a ranking, grouped it, very, very consulting style.
Yes.
And the number one word that always popped up the most is authenticity. Now, authenticity is a perception, which means I cannot go to you and say, Vero, now be authentic. Then you're going to look at me and say, that's a great idea, Flo, but how? It's a perception of others about you. We perceive you as authentic, as real. And then I asked for 3 years again in the chat, okay, if authenticity were the soup, what are the ingredients? And if you were German, you would know HSV right away, because HSV is der Hamburger Sportverein, Hamburg Sports Club. It's the first division football team. Okay. So every German in my training, HSV, chupado. That's done, we know it. In English and in Spanish, I have to explain it. It's first, you don't lie. This is the reason why I do not work with politicians. Honesty. Honesty is not negotiable for authenticity. Second, you say the things the way you feel them. That's in English, sincerity. Sinceridad. You say the things the way you feel them. When the lady in my training says this, I was 8 when my parents got divorced, and has that smile on her face. 8 when her parents got divorced, that's so funny. No, it's not. She talks about something today that is not comfortable for her, and she puts this stupid mask in public speaking on top of her face, and it's super not sincere. It's not coherent. Sincerity. I was 8 when my parents got divorced. Easy technique, you relive, don't talk about it, relive stuff. You will always be sincere. Easy. And the most important thing, of course, for pathos, also very important, you're not perfect, you show your true self, you're vulnerable. Vulnerability, the magical word. So honesty, sincerity, vulnerability, that's my success factor coming from hundreds of people. And it's common sense, but Voltaire said common sense is not so common. So if authenticity, now we do math, Vero. If authenticity, if you agree, based on hundreds of people, and I totally signed that petition, that authenticity is the number one success factor for any communicator. So why would you be any different talking to colleagues, with your family, or your friends? Yeah. Would you be different? No. If you're different, it's not sincere, it's not honest, and it's not vulnerable. No. So I do the same thing with everyone. Don't talk to my son Alvaro. He's now 19. I think he hates my HSV. But yeah, I'm of the opinion that always be HSV and you will always be cool.
Yeah, you're not one person at home and you're not another person at the office. No, you tend to be the same person.
The only thing that does not work at all, because in my training, as you know, I only do plus feedback. Everything you
Yes.
do well and why, and plus plus.
Yes.
Everything you can do better and how. In my relationship with my Rose, my wife from Malaysia, you know Rose, it's impossible. Sometimes there's negative feedback on both sides. But that's also human. It's also authentic.
That's how you grow.
Exactly. Well, I like plus plus better than minus.
It is. Okay. We're down to the last part of the SpOT interview. This is something I ask all my guests. Favorite song?
My way.
Sinatra. Favorite book?
Selling the Invisible, Harry Beckwith. It's not a novel. If I said a novel, I would say For Whom the Bell Tolls. Changed my life when I was 16. I had to give a presentation at school, and then later I did my Erasmus exchange program in Spain. So I was super informed thanks to that book. I'm a great Hemingway fan. I've also read others, but For Whom the Bell Tolls had an impact in my life. How to treat people, how to society. It's really amazing. And the other one is not Selling the Invisible. It's a business book. 97, it's a bit obsolete. Maybe there is no AI, but the concepts of making something intangible like rhetoric, public speaking, negotiation services, conflict resolution, anything to make it tangible and sell it, it's a very powerful book for me.
Okay. What phrase do you repeat to yourself, or do you have a motivational quote, something that you're constantly telling yourself?
Public speaking or communication in a general sense is a mountain without a peak.
Okay.
That's my quote, and I always use it for the people. And because people think there is perfection, there cannot be perfection in communication and in life.
No, things
It's a
happen.
mountain without a peak, and we always go higher and higher, and that makes it so interesting too.
Yeah. Strive.
Exactly.
Someone you admire and why?
Martin Luther King Jr. I cannot live without MLK Jr. And for the geeks in the call, hey, geeks in the call, it's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And if you're a real geek, it's Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Now, that guy, I was in Auburn Street in Atlanta with my Alvaro and my Rose, and we are there. There's the museum, there's the church there he grew up. Behind the building, there's the two tombs in the water basin where his wife and him, they're lying there. It's his graveyard. And then I learned that Martin Luther King Jr. was sitting in the church in the last row with speech impediments, or he couldn't really talk. And with 5 years old, he couldn't talk. And then you have the same guy in 1963 at Lincoln Memorial, inspiring the entire world. I mean, this is, and the hardship he went through, it's super inspiring.
Yep. Agreed. Any advice you'd like to leave?
Keep climbing that mountain without a peak.
Wonderful. Got it.